Hi, I'm Laura.
Hi, I'm Katrina.
And welcome to Do It For The Bit, where we've been blocking our freshman roommates since 99.
So,
today we're talking about
roommate horror stories.
Bad roommates. You know, we've all had a bad roommate.
We've all had a bad roommate.
All right? And we've all had bad horror story roommates.
Yeah, there are levels. There is, like, not doing the dishes, and then there is, like breaking health code violations type horror stories. There's levels.
There's levels to it.
Everyone's had just a normal bad roommate, but then everyone's had that one moment they're like, I'm in danger.
They're like, you are not a good person.
Yeah.
Where you go from like, oh my gosh, like they just won't sweep, or like they just like don't keep their side of the room clean.
Always have to take the trash out.
Yeah. No.
There's
and then there's like, they're like objectively a really bad person.
Objectively bad person. I need to get other people involved. I need help.
Yeah. So we're talking about those kind of roommates today.
We are talking about those kind of roommates today. And in fact, I'm a little scared about this episode, so I'm going to go on our Instagram and block my freshman year roommate.
Yeah. So if you are not our freshman year roommates, go ahead to Do It For The Bit podcast on Instagram and give us a follow. And if you are our freshman year roommates, mind your beeswax, okay?
Mind your beeswax. And also, please understand, you put me through hell.
Yeah.
I honestly...
And I was too young at that point, and too naive to like really like stand up.
Yeah.
But looking back on it, like, you were really, like, not cool.
Why did I put up with what I put up with, you know? That's what I'm asking myself. Like, why did 19-year-old me be like, well, I guess this is what the real world's like?
Yeah. No. You were just an outlier of, like, being mean.
Yeah, like, these people are just bad.
So we're gonna go block them real quick.
Yeah. Actually, I have a lot of...
You had a lot of people to block?
Well, the thing is, it wasn't... You just had a bad freshman year roommate. I had a bad freshman year roommate. I had a bad...
You had a lot of bad roommates.
I had a lot of bad roommates. I had one good roommate in that she was a friend from high school. Shout out Gabby.
Shout out Gabby.
But we never spoke. I was full hermit. I just went into my room.
Yeah.
Which was just... It was odd. I felt bad for her because I'm sure, you know... There's an expectation to like socialize and like hang out and like, oh, we went to high school together and we were friends.
Yeah.
I think she's super cool.
Yeah, Gabby's awesome.
But I realized that when I go home, I don't want to socialize.
No. When I go home, I'm trying to be quiet.
I'm trying to be quiet.
I'm trying to like
silent.
in my peace. I'm trying to be like in my own world.
My problem is if I socialize, I feel a pressure to like entertain.
Oh yeah.
And like also like make the other person laugh. To me, that's like, it takes a little bit of effort, and when I go home, I'm sleepy. So
the thing is, yeah, you've been doing that the whole day, so then it's like, when I go home, like, I want to turn off. I'm not trying to be, you know, I am a very, like, happy, sunshiny person, but when I go home, I'm trying to, like, take a break, take a chill pill, and rest and recover from the day, and get ready for the next day.
Yeah, it's me time, and I can make me laugh effortlessly, but I gotta, like...
Blocked.
I just blocked my freshman year roommate. And also...
The thing is, they don't get notified when they get blocked.
No.
That's so funny.
It's like... we're about to speak on these people, so I'm they don't need to hear this. But also, at the same time, if for some reason, my freshman year roommate, I'm gonna call her Jenna.
Okay.
If Jenna hears this, I want you to know it is okay. I forgive you for what you did to me.
All is forgiven.
I also think you're super beautiful, and I love your Instagram.
Aww.
I think you're a baddie. It's like, it's
Wait,
not...
can I see her Instagram?
I just blocked her, so no, you can't. But if I switch to my other
Can you go to your other account?
Yeah, you can see it. But I think there's just no way she wasn't going through it in the way that she was acting. So, like, you know...
You gotta give a little bit of grace for that.
I'm giving grace. I forgive you. But also, why did you do that to me? And I would like to confess, Jenna, whenever you moved out, you left your Anastasia eyeshadow palette. Like the Beverly Hills, I think. I don't know. It's like the one that's like a pink fuzzy.
Oh, Pink Renaissance. No, Renaissance.
It's a Renaissance?
Modern Renaissance. Modern Renaissance Anastasia Beverly Hills.
Whew, wow. Okay. Thank you. But yeah, you left that palette, and I took it. Because I honestly didn't know where you went in the world, so I had no way of contacting you and giving it to you. But I had to get that off my chest, but I felt like maybe it was okay. Also, girl, you were so gorgeous. You didn't need it anyways.
I know, she is hot. I'm looking at her profile. I'm like, dang, queen, go off.
My freshman year roommate, she was hot. She was a baddie. But also, she made me live in very unsafe living conditions.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
You kick us off.
Okay, so my freshman year roommate, well, first of all, first thing you need to know about me. My freshman year, I did not go to University of Texas. I graduated here, but I did not go here my freshman year.
Yeah.
I got capped. And so I went, and I was really, really sad, and I was like, I don't want to go to, like, UT Dallas and then, like, transfer in. I was like, I wanted to go to, like, a big school on its own. So I went to University of Arkansas.
Wool pig.
Like, honestly, why? My sister was like, oh, it's in the SEC. Like, we can, like, be, like, we'll be in the SEC together, because she went to A&M. And she was a senior, and I was a freshman. And I was like, sure, why not? And after I got rejected from A&M, I was very, very sad. And I'll be completely honest. I was like, I'm too stupid to go to A&M. And that was a very low point in my life. So I immediately applied to Arkansas. Like, right after I got the rejection, I immediately applied to Arkansas. And I got in. Slay. So then I went to Arkansas my freshman year, which was honestly, like, so crazy. Like, what was I doing there?
I missed you, dog.
I missed you too.
They had seasons up there, so
it was beautiful. I finally got, like, fall. I was like, holy cow, this is beautiful.
White girls were right. This shit rules.
Maybe I will be, like, having Christian girl autumn.
Christian girl autumn's kind of
like,
fun.
It was really, like, seeing the colors change and, like, getting, like, coffee and, like, walking in the leaves. I was like, ooh,
But then they also have you got seasonal depression for, like, the first time ever.
I don't think I got depressed, but I do say seasonal sadness, because I don't want to I don't want to, like, make light of, like, like, depression. Okay, and I didn't get clinically diagnosed, but I will say I was sad.
Well, clinical depression and seasonal depression are two different things. So you can say
they are.
They're two different things. So if you were,
I was like, well, I don't want to, like, say it.
Winter sadness is the same thing as.
Well, I said seasonal sadness. I was like, because I don't want to like make light of people who are, like, actually, like,
depressed.
Yeah, and so I was like, I wasn't, like, I was sad though. Because it was so gray from October to March. It was gray and no sun. Yeah. And it rained a lot. And I was like,
it was cold.
Cow.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
I remember you called one night and you were like, my sparkle has been dulled. And I was like, oh God, that's, like, depression. Like, for Laura, if Laura says her sparkle's been dulled, that means she's depressed.
I'm not doing great if my sparkle's being dulled.
Oh man.
So I was there, and so here we are in Arkansas, 18, and I didn't know anyone going to Arkansas. Well, I knew a few people, but I wasn't close with them.
Yeah.
So I just got, like, a random roommate, right? And at first she seemed really cute and sweet. Yeah. She was in the School of Journalism, I think.
Oh, that's right. Because what was her dream job?
Okay, girl. I don't want to judge, right? We all got our different dreams. But I just remember that she was like kind of fighting with her friend. And she was like, no, like, my dream job is to, like, be on E! News, okay? Like, I'm trying to be there. And, like, respect. Like, we all, like, got places we want to go. But I was like, E! News? I don't know. It took me aback, because I'm like, usually people want to be, like,
the celebrity that's being talked about.
Yeah.
Rather than.
Why do you want to be, like, Juliana, like, Rancic?
Like, why do you want to aspire to just talk about celebrities?
Which was weird.
I find that's, like.
I don't know. I think that's kind of, like, a toxic dream. It's kind of like being like, I want to be, like, on, like, the Real Housewives, like, TV show.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's, like, they're just all really toxic.
Yeah.
And they do anything for the drama, which I love doing it for the drama, but not for, like, the drama.
Right. Not like a toxic way, more like in a fun theatrical way.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, I just think that's
your aspiration is to just basically gossip about beautiful people.
Is to be on TV and just be like, she wore this dress, but this girl wore this dress.
Is making waves with her new boo.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do? Interesting.
Okay. Like, someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it.
But in reality, also, no one has to do that job. We don't need...
No.
I don't want to hear about these people.
I don't need to.
Yeah.
But so she was studying journalism, but she also had a passion for fashion. However,
Dear God.
I didn't. Oh God, her outfits were so bad. I don't want to be mean. I sound like a bitch right now. I don't care. Maybe I am a little bit of a bitch.
Okay, bad or was she just wearing what everyone else wore and considering herself a fashion expert?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Or was it both?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
So she would be just like, oh my gosh, I got this outfit. Isn't it so cute? I love fashion. Girl, that outfit has been seen on like every like boutique, like Fayetteville blog, like on every Fayetteville Instagram. You just went and you bought it. It was cute. You liked it. You bought it. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's good. But the thing is also, because it was like in Fayetteville, which is like super white, super South, it was like the ugly white South clothes. You know what I mean? That are like like the sorority clothes that like the shorts that are like ruffled at the end and they look preppy, but they're super ugly and like $100 that are like a pastel pink. Like that. Yeah. Like chuggy white Southern sorority clothing. Yeah. That she got because everyone else got. So it was a mixture of both.
Yeah. It was both heinous to look at, but also everyone else is wearing
it. So she was like, well, damn, well then I'll wear it too.
But then she would act like...
she invented clothes.
Genius.
She acted like she was on the cutting edge of fashion. She was acting like she was the end-all, be-all of what was stylish. And I remember one time she was like, you can never wear boots with shorts. And I was like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
And I wore boots with shorts. It's like a great look.
I think boots with shorts are so cute.
It's a classic. So anyway, so when I first met her, she was really sweet, you know. She was raised in Fayetteville, I think.
Oh, damn.
No, she was raised not in, I think, Bentonville? She was raised in Arkansas. She was raised in Arkansas. And she was rushing sorority. So the thing is with Arkansas, because it's like so much of like the campus is in Greek life, they would go a week early. They would move in a week early, like whenever you're freshman, and you would move in a week early. So that way, like during that first week, you would be doing like your rush process with like all the different houses and stuff. And I think there were like 13 sorority houses. And so she was rushing. And so the thing is, she got the bed by the window. And her bed was lofted. And my bed was not lofted. Oh. So she took, like, there was not a lot of sun in our room because she covered the entire window with her bed.
Oh my God.
And the thing is, so at this point, like, she had a lofted bed and our desks were like stuck into the wall, so we couldn't move them. And she had like a little like area underneath her bed with like a little like, you know, rug and a little, you know, TV, like a little cozy nook area. Yeah. And the thing is, I was extremely poor at the time. I had like no money to like buy stuff. And so I was not rocking with anything. So I was like, underneath my bed was literally like my dirty clothes hamper, and that was it. Now, I don't know. I don't even know. I just remember this one thing. I was talking to her and I was like, she was like, okay, I'm going to get a rug for the room because it was just like tile floor. So I was like, that sounds great. Yeah. But she put the rug on her side of the room. And so I had the cold floor for a while. And then I was like, well, I got to get a rug because my feet are so cold. And so I got a $5 rug from Walmart and she clowned on it. She was like, cool rug or something like that. Oh. And it's like, I was so like broke and stressed about money at the time. I was like, that sucks because we were gonna share a rug. Yeah. And then she was like, no, it's gonna be on my side.
What a bitch.
So I was like, okay.
Sorry, my poor rug is making your eyes hurt.
Sorry, bitch. Like for real.
This is a functional rug because they made us live on tile.
They made us live. I just needed something. And she would make digs at like my financial status a lot.
I remember hearing a few of them.
I don't remember all of them, I'm gonna be completely honest, but I just remember like she'd be like, I think I talked about like, oh, like this was my sister's like old comforter. Yeah. And she's like, oh, it's cute. But like, yeah, it's not cute. You know what I mean? Like it was
Southern passive aggressive.
I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Yeah, that's so you. Like I just like how like your space is so like clear, or you know what I mean? Like so like.
I like how you don't have a lot of things.
So minimal. Like, very, very passive-aggressive. Ugh. Very, like, you're poor, and, like, that's bad. Yeah. She would make some, like, remarks at me. But I just remember there's this one... What?
I was just going to say, those are just her classist remarks.
Yeah, those are just classist.
We'll get into
other ones. So speaking of sorority, so she's rushing, and I remember, like, a few weeks after, maybe a few days, few weeks after, like, she was rushing, or remember, whenever she was rushing, I don't remember. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I wanted to rush, but maybe I should have. It seems kind of fun. Mm-hmm. You know, just making like small talk. And she's like, oh, I don't know if you'd like it. You know, it's just like all of us like blonde white girls, you know. And then she's like, she looked at me and she looked me in the eyes and she's like, maybe you'd want to like go to like the cultural center. And then she looked up and down. She's like, they have more diverse ones. Like, that's huge tell on yourself that, like, you know that, like, sororities are, like, super racist. And B, what the fuck?
Like,
you're, like...
First of all, like, you are, like, for the most part, mm-hmm. white passing.
Dude, yeah.
Because your dad's white,
yeah.
your last name is not...
It's Duff.
It's Duff.
Like, you see me, you're like, oh, she's white.
Literally,
like,
you're just, like, tall and, like, have, like, curly, dark hair.
Yeah.
And, like, dark eyes.
Yeah.
That's it. And she's like, this sorority Greek life is not for you.
You are not gonna fit in. Like, that's crazy. Because I think I was talking to her... I think maybe I was talking about, like, how I wanted, like, Mexican food or something. Like, no! I remember. I was talking about how... She was talking about, like, pozole, which is, like, a dish that my mom never made, so I've never really eaten it.
Uh-oh.
And she's like, You're Mexican and you've never had pozole before? What? No, I haven't, man. Like, we just never had that in my house.
Jesus.
It was, like... It was just like, little weird digs. And then I think she was like, I'm, like, more Mexican than you. Like, she literally said that. Oh, my gosh, I completely forgot. She was like, I'll literally be, like... in, like, my work, she worked at a boutique, I think. She's like, mm-hmm. I'll be at work and people were like, oh my gosh, are you Mexican? You look so ethnic. Girl, no, ma'am. Maybe, like a white Mexican, sure.
Yeah.
But even then, no.
Yeah, I just...
It was very, like, weird remarks about, like, my ethnicity.
The cultural center one where she's literally like, I don't think you should rush. You should, like, go check out, like...
The cultural center.
Yeah. Because we don't want anyone like
mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah. It wasn't like I understand, like, we're at, like, a predominantly white university. You might not, like...
She was not being
You
helpful.
might not feel, like, welcomed in this group. Like, but there are other groups that you could join and you could feel more comfortable in. It was not that. It was like we're gonna exclude you because you're different.
Yeah.
You should not
rush.
Shouldn't rush. Like, that's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
She was so weird. She made a lot of, like, weird remarks.
Oh my gosh. What was that? She was saying a slur a bunch, and you asked her to stop.
Yeah.
Because she claimed she didn't know. Well, she may have genuinely not known.
She may have not known, but whenever she was saying a slur, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah. It is one of those old-timey weird ones.
It was an old-timey weird one that, like, if you didn't know...
And it was a slur against black people.
Yeah. And so I was like, hey, like, I think that's a slur. Like, you should, like, stop saying that. Because she was trying to make it a word. She was trying to make it, like, fetch. You know what I mean?
She was trying to make fetch
happen.
Was
trying to make fetch happen.
What she didn't know is that fetch was a slur.
This fetch was a slur. And I was like, girl, like, you should stop saying that. I'm pretty sure that's a slur, like, you know. And she was like, I don't think so. And I don't really care. And...
The flat out, like, announcement of, I don't care.
Yeah, she's like, whatever, like, I don't care, I don't know that, blah, 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 something to that effect. And then a few days later, she was saying that in, like, a food hall. And then a black student was like, hey, stop saying that, like, that's a slur, like, that's offensive, that's inappropriate, like, stop saying that. Like, mm-hmm. She wasn't saying it to people, but she was just saying it in a lot, and it's like,
yeah,
just stop saying it. Just stop, it's easy, just stop saying that.
Yeah.
And... Then she came home and she was like, oh my gosh, like, this girl was so mad at me because I was saying this word. And it's like, yeah, because that's, like, a dehumanizing word to, like, that student. Like, yeah. You're hurting. Like, that's, like, you're
and you warned her.
Yeah. She
was warned. She could have chose to be like,
mm-hmm.
it's like you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't know.
Yeah.
But, like, so, like, if someone tells you, you should look it up and learn
double
in this
check.
moment.
And then just keep it pushing.
But the entitlement to where you're like, I don't even care, and I'm just gonna keep doing whatever I want, even though someone is trying to educate me.
Yeah.
And then being shocked and dismayed and annoyed and, like, mad that someone is hurt by it.
And she acted like she was the victim in that moment.
Oh, definitely.
She was like, I'm the victim. She was mad at me, so I'm the victim. No, like, you
were warned.
You were warned, and, like, you didn't do any more research about it. And then, like, another student told you to stop, and you were hurt by that because you were using an offensive word.
Did it occur to you that maybe you were hurting that student's feelings?
Like,
because they probably already don't feel very welcome at this university.
At this PWI?
Where people will say stuff to you if you're slightly a person of color at all.
At all?
They're gonna be like, maybe you should try the cultural center instead of a sorority because we don't like you.
Because, like, have we thought of that? We obviously haven't.
The audacity, the gall, the entitlement. It's so, what a weird thing to double down on.
Yeah.
I'd be so embarrassed if I was accidentally saying a slur. I'd be on Google immediately like, is this blah, 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 and I look up and be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
My bad. Didn't know. But you know what? Now I do know. Gonna do better. Not gonna do that anymore.
It's so easy not to say
things.
It's
so easy not to say things.
Ugh.
God, that was crazy.
Yeah. I remember there were some other ones that she would say.
I do remember one time her friend was wearing black Air Forces, and for security reasons, her name was going to be McKenna in this story. But one time, McKenna was in the room, and her friend came over, and her friend was wearing an outfit that McKenna did not like very much.
And McKenna's your roommate.
McKenna's my roommate, and the friend was wearing black Air Forces, right? And I think they were going to go to, like, a fraternity party. And McKenna was just going in on her outfit. And she was wearing, like, jeans and a shirt and black Air Forces. She looked fine.
Yeah.
She looked fine. And McKenna was going in. She was like, this outfit looks awful. Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, you need to talk to me for, like, fashion help. And she's like, and you're wearing the shoes that all the black girls wear. And it was, like, I remember I was like, hey, now. Whoa, 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 hey. Because, like, what do you mean by that? Ooh. Explain yourself. And why are you saying it in such a tone that's like
so hateful?
So hateful.
Obviously hateful.
What do you mean by that?
It's just so
like,
obvious.
She really, like, she was very, like, racist. Like,
just constantly telling on herself.
And I just remember I was like, don't say that. Like, don't say that.
Yeah.
Why? It was weird. It was weird. And there were so many, like, small situations like that where it was just, like...
constant little microaggressions.
Like, yeah. She was, like, the queen of microaggressions. It was weird.
Also, I thought it was so sad that she had the bed by the window and your bed was by the door, but because of your height, your feet stuck out by the door.
I was going to bring that up.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just going through different stories.
Yeah.
Like, my feet would be stuck out through the door because my feet just were longer than the bed.
Yeah.
And so I did feel a little bit bad about this. Because, like, there'd be times when she'd try to open the door, but my feet were right in the way. And so she'd have to, like, move my feet to open the door. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe this is, like, a little bit of karma. Maybe this is a little bit of, like, payback. Just a little bit, though. She'd also just make ramen, right? She'd make ramen. And it would be, like the Maruchan, like, in, like, the styrofoam cup. She'd eat the ramen, but she wouldn't eat, like, the broth. And so she would just put the cup of broth in the trash can and leave it. And she would not take out the trash.
You crazy motherfucker.
Okay, I get, like, not taking out the trash every 2 days or whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we live in a tiny room. So you just put your ramen broth in the trash can and don't even take out the trash. And it was my trash can that we were sharing. It was like, the place smelled after, like, a few days because, like, it's like the broth was just, like, in the air at that point. So
just don't put full liquids in the trash.
Like pour out the broth,
and then
throw it away. It was ridiculous. It was so ridiculous.
Actually, psychotic behavior.
That's weird.
That's
crazy.
Weird. Crazy.
That's weird. One thing we did bond over, though, is that we were both our favorite animals were sharks.
Oh, that's sweet.
Whenever I first moved in, she was like, yeah, like, sharks are my favorite animal. I know that's kind of weird. And I was like, oh my gosh, sharks are my favorite animal.
Oh my gosh.
And people think I'm weird for that. And so we were like, oh my gosh, besties. And then after, like, a week, I was like, no. But, okay, also, she would always, like, okay, I get find my friends, right? Like, I get, like, find my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
I get having people's locations. Because, like, you know, you want to make sure they're safe and stuff.
Yeah.
But whenever you're, like, on it to a point where, like, you're stalking their every single move.
Oh, that's weird.
And
she did that?
She would be... if someone was like, oh, I'm coming to, like, pick you up, I just left. She'd be, like, on her phone. She's like, they said they just left, but they're actually still at the house right now. And so, like, they're literally lying. And then she'd call the person, be like, you said you were going to be here, and you're not here yet. Like, you said you were going to leave, and why haven't you left yet? I'm just, like, she's like, she would be stalking people's every move. And if people, like, weren't on the way over, if people, like, weren't leaving, like, as soon as they left, or if people were like, oh, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
Grabbed a water bottle and then came back. Yeah. Or, like, to leave or whatever, you know? Because, like, you say you're going to leave, and then you, like, do one more thing, and then you head out.
Yeah.
She would be calling them. She would be stalking their she's like, okay, they're on the highway now. Like, he's on his way over. But, like, he better... Why are you, like, looking at him on the highway?
It's so weird.
It was bizarre. Also, okay, I don't want to be weird, right? Everyone can live their own life in, like, the way that they're most comfortable, right? You know what I mean?
Like, this is like those TikToks where it's like me and my best friend after talking shit for 3 hours, and at the end we're like, but who are we to judge?
Like, we're talking mad shit.
We're talking mad shit.
Well, if I had to live through this, then, like, I can talk shit about it. I experienced this.
You experienced
This isn't even talking shit. This is me recounting events as they happened.
Full freshman year of microaggressions.
Yeah, a full year of microaggressions
Classes
against me
and
myself, like, others.
Yeah.
Like,
so what do you gotta say? What's your piece?
So here I am in my room. I've had a long day, right? You know, I'm tired, and I walk in, and she's, like, underneath the bed. Like, she's up on her bed, and she's, like, all snuggled up, and she's, like, on her phone or whatever. And I'm like, hey, and she's like, hi. And I'm like, what? And she's like, oh, you know, I'm just like naked right now. And I'm like, why do I need to know this, right?
Girl.
Because I'm, like, very shy at this point. I'm like, I'm 18.
Yeah.
I've just gotten out of, like, church. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm, like, living on my own, but I'm still in that purity culture mindset.
Yeah.
Things feel taboo. Also, still got that Catholic guilt as well. So, like, we need to fold this into the equation. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's good. And so she would just always, even whenever she didn't need to tell me that she was naked, she'd always just bring up the fact that she was naked when laying in bed. And she's like, I just, like, love sleeping naked. It's like, that's great for you.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear about this.
Yeah, especially since I am right here.
I'm right here.
I am, like, less than 10 feet away from you.
I feel a little uncomfortable because it was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need to know this. Like, this is
also,
this is TMI.
It's TMI.
I don't know you like that.
But also, I feel like it's, you could Winnie the Pooh it, wear a big shirt and nothing underneath. And that's basically the same thing as sleeping in sheets.
Yeah.
And why are you telling?
The thing is, it's like, yeah.
I think it's rude to sleep naked with a roommate in the room.
Right?
I think that's rude. I think it's a little weird.
Mm-hmm. And there would be times whenever, like, she would be, like, really sneaky and, like, really try to, like, hint that she had just, like, done something with a guy before I came in. And it's like, I don't need to know that. Like, I really don't need to know that. Like, good for you. Like, I'm glad that, like, you're having fun and whatever. But, like, I don't need to know what you are doing. And it feels kind of...
like you're bragging or something?
Not even bragging, but just, like, trying to make me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like you, like, I don't respond well in these, like, situations.
Yeah.
I'm not like, yes, queen, show the boobs. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, woo. Like, I'm like, oh,
Get
okay,
it, girl.
cool, yay. Like, instead
you're just, like, quiet and going
about
your business.
Oh, okay. Like, why do you feel the need to keep bringing this up to me when I'm honestly, like, very uncomfortable?
Yeah. That's...
like, is your only goal to make me more uncomfortable with you? Because, like, mission succeeded. Like, you're killing that queen. It's weird.
That is weird. And then there was the...
recycling?
There's the recycling, but then there was also the gyno appointment one.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that!
That one was awesome.
Speaking of being uncomfortable, so she went to, like, a gyno appointment.
Yeah.
And she came back, and I think I was, like, just chilling, probably, like, watching TV on my bed or something. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I have a perfect vagina. She walked into the room with that, like, confidence, with that statement. She's like, the gynecologist said I have, like, a perfect vagina, like, the most perfect vagina. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay.
We are not friends.
Like, yeah, we're not friends. We're not friends.
Don't tell me
I don't want to hear, like, I'm glad that, like, you're good. I'm glad that you don't have any diseases. I'm glad you're taking care of your health.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear exactly what your gynecologist told you in that room. So she was just going on and on. She's like, yeah, like, the gynecologist, like I went in and, like, I got my pap smear and, like, you know, the gynecologist did everything. And I was like, oh, my gosh, you look perfect. You look perfect. You have a perfect vagina. And she's like, and so, like, I just have, like, a perfect vagina. Like, I can't help it, but, like, it's seal of approval. And, like, in my head, I was like, bro, like, they're saying, like, everything looks good. Everything looks normal. Yeah. Like, we're good to go. Perfect job. It's not like you are the only one with a perfect vagina. It's like your health is in, like, perfect check. Like, good for you.
That is a doctor. They're not saying that you have
this is not, like, objectively. They're
not like, okay, you got an A+
in vagina looking,
in grip. You got a
B, like an A+.
You got an A+ in aesthetics.
Yeah,
like girl.
I was so like why? And the thing is that the only thing you have to brag about?
That is so weird.
Like, why are you bragging about the most weirdest, like, TMI things that I don't think I would tell you that.
Yeah.
Unless, like, something really funny happened at the gyno. What happens there stays there, okay? You don't need to know about that.
The only time girlfriends talk about gyno is just talking about how traumatizing
it is.
They're
like, oh my gosh, like, my IUD hurts so much. Like,
or, oh my god, like, I got a pap smear and I cried and then I went and bought myself a little pink drink to feel better.
Yeah, like, that's what we're talking about.
That's what I want to hear about, but that's only with my girls. That's with my girls. I'm not talking vagina with everyone. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking vagina with everyone.
Not talking vagina with just any schmuck. And in that moment, I was a schmuck.
Right.
Don't talk to me about that.
Don't talk to me about your vagina. And also, how are you such an airhead that you think that a doctor, if a doctor says something looks good, that means it doesn't have any visible warts or STDs or, like, yeast. That's what he means.
They're like, oh, perfect. Like,
he means that's a working vagina.
Like, that literally...
He or she.
They're like...
Doctors can be women.
Or they.
Or non-binary.
Like, yeah, it just means everything looks normal. Like, that's perfect.
Good. Like...
It's not like it's like, oh, that's perfect.
Like if a vet was, like, checking out, like, a dog's asshole for, like an absence.
They'd be like, oh, perfect, there's nothing.
Like, there's nothing. They'd be like, perfect, that looks perfect.
Yeah.
It's a dog's asshole. They're not saying, now this is the perfect dog asshole.
This is it. Everyone be ashamed because it doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
No.
How are you such an airhead that you think that a gyno saying your vagina is perfect, that you're like, oh my god, like, I did it. I got an A+ in vagina.
I got an A+. That's a normal thing to want.
That's a normal thing to want.
Especially for her.
The fact that her brain went there, and that she's like, I'm a sexual goddess because
I have a perfect vagina.
I have a, like, doctor-certified perfect vagina. Stamped of approval.
Like, come on.
You're stupid.
Oh my gosh.
Literally, that doctor meant you do not have visible STDs.
Bad stuff. I was so uncomfortable. She
was funny for that.
I was very uncomfortable in that moment.
I love that story because how big of an airhead do you have to be?
Delusional.
Like, that is, like, early 2000s, like, blonde airhead character.
Oh, yeah.
Type stuff.
Yeah.
And she just fully went up to you.
And I was the Latina girl for representation.
Yes. Like, that was what the dynamic was.
It was very much that. It was very that.
Oh my gosh.
So, that was a moment. I remember one time I was really trying to, like, be more, like, sustainable. I was really trying to work on my sustainability grind. Yeah. Get in my sustainability bag. I was trying to eat less meat, trying to, like, not drink cow milk, you know.
Yeah.
Recycle what I could.
Metal water bottle.
Because the thing is, I was like, we really do, like, whenever you do think about it, like, for more than, like, a minute, you're like,
we're so wasteful.
We are so wasteful. There's so much trash in the world. There's so much, like, junk in the world. Like, there's so much junk and trash in the world. So, you know, I want to start to, like, really, like, put the effort into, like, doing what I could.
To be mindful of,
like, where my trash was going, making sure I could separate it right and, you know, recycle, reuse what I could, whatever. And I remember I was, like, talking to her about this because I was really, really passionate about it. Yeah. And she was like, I just don't believe in recycling.
Holy shit.
What? Like, granted, a lot of, like, places that do say recycle don't really recycle their stuff.
But that's not what she meant.
Yeah. Granted, like, some stuff isn't, like, the recycling system is not perfect at all. But for her to be, like, completely, like, that's not a real thing, I don't believe in it. What?
Or, like, yeah.
Or, like, you're, like, instead of, like, taking a piece of paper, you can throw it in the trash or the recycling bin. Throwing it in the trash instead. Because you don't believe in recycling.
Like, she wasn't, like, there's, like, levels to it. There's, like, the base level of, like, kind of, like, climate change denying, like, I don't want to do recycling because I don't believe in it. And then there's the next level of, like, I'm trying to be more mindful, I'm going to recycle. And then there's another next level where you're like, okay, the way the U.S. handles recycling and trash is absolutely terrible. And, you know, the way we recycle, things don't actually get recycled.
Yeah.
That's, like, the new base level. She was not at that third level. She was at the bottom level of not believing in recycling.
And she's like, I don't believe in it.
As a concept.
Oh my gosh, and you know what I just remembered too? She would buy so much food, and then she'd throw it all away.
Yeah, and then the room stunk.
The room would stink. So, like, yeah, like, we would have, like, fine apples. If it was in there for 3 days, she'd throw out the apple, she'd throw out her banana, she'd throw out, like, everything. When it was literally, like, perfectly good food that she could have eaten. Like, she would just throw it away because she was like, it was old. It's not old.
I literally, like, there needs to be education
on food waste.
Because there's so many discrepancies on, like, what people with produce, if it looks and feels good still,
then it's good.
It's not, there's no, like, oh, it's old, go away. I hate when people waste food. It drives me crazy.
Right? Because it's like, you're literally throwing away something that is, like, fine.
Do you understand?
Like, you're throwing away money. You are throwing away, like, a perfectly good item.
Like, the sun, like the light that came from the sun traveled, you know, so many miles to get to the earth, and so many gallons of water,
and then
were used to grow this apple.
Gallons of gas to move it from that place to your store, so that way you could go buy it, so that way you could go back. The carbon footprint, which is a myth, we all know, blah blah blah. But still, like, there's so many, like, levels to it.
There's so much effort, and then you spent money on it,
and then you just throw it away,
and then you throw
because
it away.
It's been in the fridge for 3 days. This apple
drives me crazy.
It drove me up the wall that she would just throw away good food.
My mom was raised by a mom who was raised by Great Depression.
Yep. So y'all, you saved everything.
Trickle down Great Depression treatment of food. We did not waste food.
No.
We did not waste food.
No.
Obviously, if something's bad, you throw it.
Oh, yeah. Like, and like, you didn't get to your leftovers, blah, blah, blah. Whatever.
And if you're not hungry, don't eat it, like, sunk cost. But also, like, we were very mindful about how we bought things.
Don't just buy things, just throw them away 3 days later. It was that really made me mad.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, you know what else I remember?
Go for it.
Going back to, like, the sustainability thing.
Yeah.
I was trying to thrift my clothes because, I had no money. At this point, I literally had, like, no money to, like, buy anything new.
Yeah.
And B, I would just thrift my clothes because they were cheaper, and I liked the style of it. I thought it was really creating, like, my own look, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I was putting together an outfit, and I was like, oh, I really like this outfit. She's like, oh, yeah, where'd you get it? And I was like, oh, yeah, I thrifted it. Like, I just, I thrifted it. And she's like, yeah.
Oof. Girl.
Like, the way that, like, she said nothing, and yet she said everything.
Bitch.
Of, like, oh, yeah, it looks thrifted, and, like, it looks sad and broken poor.
Ugh.
Like.
And you work at one of those fugly southern boutiques.
Yeah.
Those things, oh my god, and every shirt is like $80, every dress is like $200, and they're chunky and ugly.
It's ugly, it's not flattering.
It's like the worst color palettes imaginable, and then everyone's wearing it, and they're wearing these, the shoes that those boutiques sell.
The platforms.
The weird platforms
that went the whole way with the thick straps around the foot.
Thick straps around the foot.
And the cork.
Ugh.
And the thing is, they all had to get those shoes because they were all in a sorority, so they all had to look the same.
They all had to look the same, so they all had to get those fugly shoes. First of all, it's impossible to walk in those. And
they're
also,
not cute.
They're not cute. What is wrong with you guys? Why are you spending money on fugly clothes? Do you, like, just think for yourself for one moment, I like this?
The thing is, like, they all had to get it. Even if they didn't like it, they all had to get it because they were all in a sorority. I know sororities were like $10,000 a semester.
Is that with the house or without the house?
Without the house.
Jesus Christ.
What are you spending it on? Shirts?
Yeah. Oh, look. Another t-shirt. Another teal t-shirt. Fuck off.
I didn't get it. It was crazy.
And every girl who, like, rushed, at least at UT, every girl who rushed a sorority their freshman year, all they do, except for one girl, I do know one girl that had a fun time in Zeta. Almost every girl I know in, like, at UT, all they do is talk shit about how much they hate being in their sorority.
For real. They hate their sisters. They hate all the stuff they have to do.
How many meetings and how they have to go to everything.
And the point system, and, like, if you miss something, then you have to pay extra.
And, like,
all the rules.
There's rules about what they can post on social media.
There's rules about who they can date.
Like what?
If you
Why
don't
would you
like
pay
it,
thousands of dollars for that?
For something you don't even enjoy, with people you don't even like.
All you do is bitch about.
I did not get it.
I don't get it.
I'm glad I didn't do it. But you know what? They wouldn't have liked me anyway.
Apparently they wouldn't have liked you
anyways.
So, whatever. I guess we'll go check out the cultural center. Anyways.
I don't remember. There was other things, but I mean, those were like some like the big
guys.
The big stories.
Yeah. And I feel like everyone had a freshman roommate that was kind of like that. It's almost like 50% of people are awful almost.
Sadly, like an alarming amount. I'm like,
alarming amount of people.
Y'all aren't cool.
Y'all can't hang. Like, I would say about 50% of people cannot hang. Definitely.
Like,
yeah.
I hope y'all can. You know what? All of y'all listening, I will say y'all can hang. Y'all are cool. Y'all are cool. Y'all can hang, and that's a hard stamp of approval to get.
Yeah, like
can't hang though.
We are like a gynecologist saying that pussy is perfect.
All
of y'all, we're giving you the A+ in can hang.
Way to go.
Way to go, guys.
All right, so we're just going to take a quick break and say hi, besties. Hope you're doing amazing. If you could just take a little minute to rate us 5 stars and review us on whatever listening platform you're listening to us on, we would appreciate it so much. And then if you are following us on Spotify, if you're listening to us on Spotify, if you could click follow as well, that would be awesome. That way you can always make sure you never miss a new podcast from us. And share this podcast with people you think would enjoy it. Your friends, your family, your freshman year roommate. I'm sure they want to know how bad they were as well. And check us out on our Instagram at Do It For The Bit Podcast and our Pinterest at Do It For The Bit. And we also have a YouTube now. Not much is on there, but it's there. So if you want to go check it out, it's at Do It For The Bit. Now let's hear Katrina's stories.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah, all right. So
like, yeah, as we were saying, like, my freshman year roommate was, like, bad. Like, there's levels to it. It's like, okay, like, regular roommate, doesn't do dishes, bad roommate, Laura's roommate, then there's, like, rock bottom, and then there's, like, Katrina's roommates.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, if you thought what I went through was, like, bad, get ready.
Like, you suffered microaggressions, both of, like, classist and racist varieties. Lots of... Then there's, like, just the normal bad roommate stuff of, like, throwing away broth in the trash can like a psycho.
That was so bizarre.
You know, a mix of, like, really bad and then also just, like, normal bad.
Yeah.
And then the weird sexual stuff.
Yeah, like, come on, man. I'm uncomfortable.
And yeah, you know, I hope maybe
you could relate to that.
Someone could out there. I mean, I don't hope you had a bad roommate, but I hope maybe you feel heard, you feel seen.
You're like, oh my god,
my roommate would do the same shit.
And I'd be like, put on some clothes, and they wouldn't. It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like, girl,
now,
it is uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable, but I hope to God,
for real,
that none of y'all relate to what I went through with my roommates.
Yeah, if you thought this was bad, get ready. Buckle up, buckaroo.
And I know lots of people have drama with their roommates.
Yeah.
I didn't have drama. I had just, like...
full-on beef.
I had full psychos living with me. Maybe psychos isn't the PC term. Let's just say, like, villains.
Ooh, yeah. I love a villain.
I was living with villains. So, my freshman year, I did not live in a dorm.
Because you said, no, ma'am.
No, ma'am. I had a really bad head injury pretty late in my high school, like, time in high school. And it was really important to me to, like, get more sleep to help heal. And so, I asked my parents, I was like, I don't think I can live on campus with another person. Can I please live in West Campus? And have my own room. Yeah. And they're like, I think that's probably the best for your health. And so I was very grateful that I did not have a dorm situation. I did not share a room with someone. But also, my building was probably designed by someone who makes prisons.
Yes, for real. So let's get into like just like the ergonomics of the building, because you walk into this building, right?
It was built like the it was built like the set of Maze Runner.
Yeah,
like,
where it's just like a tall building, but there's like
it was so dystopian.
it was so ugly made. It was made so brutalist, but not like because brutalism is cool, but brutalism is just like they're like, let's just get it done as cheap and as fast as possible.
There's like I'm just gonna like fully dogs because
I mean they have a 1.2 star rating on Google.
Yeah,
you can do it.
Skyloft.
Watch your ass.
I lived at Skyloft. And there was even an Instagram account that I think got taken down, but it was called
let the people speak.
Let the people speak. It was called the Pillars of Skyloft.
Yeah.
Because people unexpectedly, when they would move in, they like look at the floor plan and they're like, oh, I want to live in this like 3-room apartment. They'd get into their room and there'd be a giant concrete pillar through the middle of their room.
Yeah.
So this already small room, you can't do anything. You can't rearrange a bed or anything because there's a fucking concrete pillar through the middle of your room.
I'm gonna look up if it's still there.
The Pillars of Skyloft.
Go off, Queen.
Anyways, so then I was on the second floor and my apartment, the windows faced the inside of the building. And I was on the second floor. So, and this was an 18-story tall building. So no sunlight reached my apartment. It was constantly, if it was daytime, it looked like twilight in there. It was so dark. The ceilings were made of cement. There was concrete pillars. Everything was like, the furniture that came with the place was all like a dark gray color. It was it was a new building. I was one of the first people that moved into the building. And so all the appliances were new, which is fine. My water pressure sucked. I could never get hot water. It was always just like lukewarm, and I just kind of just got used to it. I just settled. I did have a lot of counter space in my own bathroom, so yippee! You take some, you lose some.
I have space on the counter.
I have space on the counter.
Yeah, you didn't have to do community style bathrooming, which I did.
Yeah, hell.
That was awful. Having to take a shower with those flimsy curtains and having to take a poopy.
Yeah.
A big old. Come on now.
My entire college career, I had very private poops, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. But also I didn't have sunlight. So you win some and you in fact lose some.
You and me both, sister. Yeah. Am I right?
So, yeah. In some ways I was spoiled, in some ways I was living like a dystopian vampire.
It was we called it the dungeon. We called it the dungeon. Literally because it was a concrete dungeon.
Yeah, everyone referred to my apartment as the dungeon. Mm-hmm. That was just the living situation. Also, there would be something wrong with the people that collected our trash every single year. Management changed every single year, and so that they would change who collected our trash, like what private group would collect our trash every single year, and trash would just pile up in the hallways.
Yeah, and you lived right across the trash room.
I've lived across from the trash room.
So like on the way home after a long day of school, like you're tired.
Flies everywhere.
Smells bad.
Like the walls looked like they were moving. There were so many flies.
That's disgusting.
That was my senior year. That wasn't so much freshman year. But the walls looked like they were moving because there were so many flies. And then they had to like spray the walls with like poison to just start like knocking them back. Oh, it was horrible. And then I was like, oh no, my living space is full of poison and dead fly carcasses.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I remember that all the fly stuff in the hallways where it looked like the wall was moving, there's so many. I do remember, I think, whenever Alec and I started dating, he like kind of like he like pushed me up against the wall a little bit and kind of as a joke, and then like gave me a kiss, and I remember seeing like flies move and I was just like, I hate it here.
That's just that, you know what? Peak romance.
Peak romance in my dystopian nightmare dungeon cement
prison.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, it's kind of like, we're like Shrek and Fiona in the swamp.
Oh.
Also, my AC stopped working my senior year while I was sick with mono. And I fell asleep with a bag of frozen vegetables on top of my head.
Mm-hmm. You gotta do what you gotta do.
And then I had to throw out I had to throw out something. It was like a pillow or something because it just smelled like green beans. And I was too tired to do anything about it.
You're like, I can't do anything with this. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You served me well.
I was so sick, and I'm not a wasteful person. I'm always like, oh, I can wash and keep it fixed. Yeah. I was at the end of my rope, and I was like, this has been stained with lots of
green bean juice.
And
there's nothing I can do about it.
And it smells bad, and there's flies everywhere, and I'm so hot, and my throat's closed up.
Yeah, at this point, you know what? Just cut your losses where you can.
Just to chuck a soaking wet pillow that smells like green beans against the wall.
Schmack.
Yeah. So that was my senior year, though, all the flies and no AC stuff. Anyways, that's
Freshman
just the
year.
building.
That's just the building.
Like I said, I got my own bathroom, though.
That's nice.
Cool. But
freshman year, though.
Freshman year. So freshman year, I'm a little 19-year-old
mechanical engineering
student.
Nerd.
I didn't know what I was...
Narc.
Oh, I don't know about narc. All right.
I'm gonna stand on that one.
It's fine. You can take your stance. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any really, like, close friends. I had a couple friends from high school that I would hang out with, but I didn't have any, like, new friends yet, obviously. But I decided to live with strangers.
Yeah.
And I also, for as much as I bitched about this building, I stayed in Skyloft for all 4 years.
Yeah, you were like... Thing is, it's like... It was too much hassle to move.
I hate moving. Moving is so stressful. It's so expensive.
Hard. Moving is very expensive.
So I just was like, fuck it. Like, I'm just gonna live in Skyloft all 4 years.
The thing is, it was really close to campus.
It was a great location.
Yeah.
Great location. So I didn't have to worry about transportation, really. And I could just walk everywhere. Anyways. I lived there all 4 years. My freshman year, I move in. And so I decided to live with strangers, and I did this all 4 years. Because I kind of thought, like...
They'll get better. Surely randomized strangers, you know... Will get better.
They can't all be bad. I was wrong.
They can.
I was proven wrong. Actually, my senior year ones, they were fine. They were, like, chill. They were, like, fine.
Okay.
So, I guess by my 4th year, I got 2 random roommates that were perfectly fine people.
Yeah.
But...
Score. Finally got some cool ones.
Yeah. I lived with 2 roommates. There was, like... Everyone had their own room and their own private bathroom. So... And also my thing was, I didn't really want to live with friends or people I knew because I knew myself, and I know if I'm around people that I care about, then I, like, want to make them laugh. I feel pressure to entertain them. And whenever I go home, I don't like being clowned anymore.
No,
I leave the red nose
at the door
on a hook at the door.
You wipe off that white paint.
I take off my big shoes
and your little jingle bells.
Yeah, and I take off my big rainbow wig. I leave it all at the door, and then I go home, and I'm just like a hermit. Yeah. I don't talk. I don't do anything.
It's really nice.
It's nice to just be nothing whenever you're home. No expectations. So I didn't like living with friends. I like living with friends now, but at the time. I just live with strangers. Big mistake. Huge. So, right before moving in, I get the information from my 2 random roommates, and one of them, Jenna, she's like, hey, I hope it's all right with y'all. I've paid the pet fee, and I'm bringing a dog. And I'm like, I just started college. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. Yeah. I don't know this person. I don't know what happens if I say no. Does she have to find a new place? Like, I'm not gonna, like,
yeah, you don't want to, like...
I just felt awful. So I was like, oh my god, okay. But she said dog at first, and I was like, okay, dog. I can live with a dog.
Probably, like, 2+. Yeah. Like, 2+ years old.
Yeah. But then she was like, yeah, I just got a puppy.
Uh-oh. Pause.
Little pause, because it's a puppy.
Puppy. And you're going to be a full-time student.
You're a full-time student.
Now this could be troublesome.
But maybe you're, like, a really responsible person. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, you take your puppy out, you train it, you, like, have been training it.
Crate trained, yeah. So, and she was a sophomore.
She was older.
1 year older. And so she was like, I'm bringing a puppy. This puppy's name, I guess I could dox a puppy's name.
Okay.
Puppy's name was Milo.
Milo.
Milo was a mini
Australian Shepherd?
a mini collie.
Collie. Yes, a collie.
Yes. So collies are very hyperactive, very smart dogs, and they like to herd things. So they like nip at your heels and stuff, and they'll follow you around everywhere.
Yeah, they're like working dogs.
They're working dogs. Doesn't matter if this one's miniature.
They're like, he's wanting to like move, and he's like, put me to work. Ah!
Put me to work. I want to help out so bad.
The dogs yearn for work, okay?
The dog yearns for work. He wants to be helpful. He wants to do anything. And because he was smart, it's because he was hyper, you know.
He was moving. He was on the go.
He was on the go. So that's a really bad dog to have when you're in college and in an apartment, and there's no yard, there's no dog park in this apartment, there's nothing, there's no yard like around. It's West Campus, it's all concrete.
Yeah.
It's really unwise to get a puppy in college, just anyone in general.
It's
cruel.
You're barely taking care of yourself.
You're barely taking care of yourself.
And now you gotta like take care of this whole other being.
This whole creature that is counting on you. Like it's so cruel. You're gonna be at classes all day. You're gonna be out at night. This creature is in an apartment
all day. In an apartment with no sun, too.
An apartment with no sun. And just, I mean, it's awful. So, I think it's kind of really cruel and messed up. Now, there are some people who take, like, their old family dog with them to college. And
but that dog's older. It's been trained.
That dog just likes chilling on the couch all day.
Yeah, he's like, bro, give me, like, put on some cartoons and call it a day.
It's just
he's
like
chilling.
A chunky lab that's 13 years old.
Yeah, like a yellow lab.
Yeah, and his
name is like...
Or her name's like Maisie or something. It's like, oh, this is Maisie. She likes the couch.
It's like, perfect.
Fine. If you're gonna bring that dog to college, fine.
That's chill.
Chill.
Maisie's cool. Maisie can hang. Alright, Maisie's like y'all, can't hang.
Yes. But to get a puppy your sophomore year of college is absolutely insane. It is so unfair to the dog. Anyways... So, I was nervous. I was really nervous. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to have to live with a puppy my freshman year of college. And it was, I think, 1,000 times worse than what I could even conceive possible. It was neglect. It was abuse. It was horrible. This dog, she never potty trained the dog at all. Like, there was a pee pad constantly in our living room.
That's so gross. Like I get it for like the beginning.
For the very beginning.
You're potty training, you're figuring everything out.
A pee pad is for accidents. It's not a litter box.
No, this is not a cat. This is a dog.
This is a dog. And also, like, oh my god, like, it's a pee pad. It is just, it's nothing. It's like a sheet of paper. And it's in the middle of our living room.
So it smells.
It smelled horrible. She never potty trained him. Never got to it. And the dog, also, she never crate trained him. He would just be loose constantly. So
the dog is loose.
He's loose. The dogs are out. And so when she's at school or she's at a social thing, he's there, loose in the apartment, doing whatever. And not only was there the pee pad thing that was just constantly soaked. She would just, like, he would piss on it, and then she would, like, maybe the next day change it to a new one.
That's gross.
Yeah. The smell was horrible. I didn't sit in my living room for my freshman year because it was just so fucking disgusting.
That's, like, unhealthy. That's unhealthy.
It's dangerous. And then... what was really worse is that he would shit anywhere.
Not on the pee pad? Anywhere?
Anywhere.
He's like, perfect.
Sometimes on the pee pad.
Oh, sometimes. Score.
Primarily just, like, anywhere. And then it built up so much. There was so much shit in the apartment that there would be just, like, loose pieces of fully dried dog shit just scattered about.
Ew.
Everywhere. Like, in the hallway, in the kitchen... everywhere. Like
that is so gross.
Like 6 to 7 just chunks of fully dried. That's how long it's been out and about. Dog
and that
shit.
stinks.
Just
Dog poop
everywhere.
smells.
Oh yeah, like it was disgusting. I didn't leave my room. I couldn't leave my room.
Because that's a warfare. That's like
I couldn't cook in my kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I asked my parents. I was like, instead of like, helping me with like grocery money, can y'all get me like UT?
like a kin solving. Like
that's why I had like Bevo bucks.
Yeah.
Which is like a stupid whatever system. But I had stupid college money credit for food instead of like grocery money from home. And I was like, can y'all get me a meal plan? So I would eat at Kinsolving, which is one of the dorms. Because I couldn't cook in my fucking kitchen.
Because there was poop everywhere.
There was dog shit. And like I said, it is dog shit that has been out and about and in like
it's
circulating.
Like cow patty now. Like it's like dog patty now.
And he would get so bored. He would play with it.
Didn't she not give him any toys?
He had like 1 or 2 toys.
But it wasn't like enough to like stimulate him.
Well, he was so bored because even just having a toy, you need someone to like throw it or whatever.
Something to play with.
Oh, but he would jump at like the dried shit and it would like slide across the floor and then he'd like run after it. It's like the most just like horrible like
that poor puppy.
That poor creature is chasing after its own dried shit for
because
entertainment.
It's so bored.
And I hated leaving my room because I didn't like this dog either.
No.
He was like a brat, but I pitied him.
Yeah.
Like
that's fair because like he wasn't taken care of well. And he couldn't help it because he wasn't trained right. Like, if he was trained better, then he probably would have been a great dog.
I mean, it's not, I'm personally an adopt, don't shop kind of person.
Agreed.
But there are some dog breeds, like, if I was going to buy a dog, I would not buy that dog. Like, that's a very do your research.
Yeah.
Don't
get a husky, don't get, like, a collie, unless you're, like, ready for it.
Don't get an Australian Shepherd, don't get a collie, like, come on, people.
Like, those
are working dogs, you need a yard.
They're hyperactive.
They need entertainment. They need lots of stimulation and running and jobs. That's what they need. Otherwise, they go crazy and they tear up. I hated going outside. I would open my room. First of all, dog shit everywhere. The smell was horrible. And then this dog would chase me around my apartment, and he would constantly bite at my feet and at my heels. So every step I took, he would just bite at my heels.
And he has like puppy teeth.
And he has puppy teeth that are super sharp. And it was so annoying. And I would just have to, like, put my foot out and, like, kind of, like push him away.
Yeah.
But he liked that because it was kind of like I was playing with him.
Yeah, he was finally getting some kind of, like, response.
So I was basically, like, playing shuffleboard with this dog.
Oh, my
gosh. He was the shuffle.
He was the little...
He was a little disc.
Yeah.
Because it was, like, a slippery, like, wooden floor. And sometimes I was playing with him, but sometimes I was like, please get away from me. But he thought I was playing with him because he was so bored. And I was just like, go away. So I would be like, please. And he was so irritating. And he would just clack around and he ate the walls.
Yeah.
He ate a hole into one of the walls.
I was going to say, didn't he start fighting the walls?
Oh, this is a brand new building, and I was like, I ain't paying for this shit.
You know, like...
Jenna is going to have to eat this charge, because I know, like, our safety deposit's, like, absolutely blown to bits. Mm-hmm. You're eating that charge. I'm not taking any of that. He ate a hole through the wall. He chewed the hell out of the remote.
And he peed on the couch a lot, right?
Yes, we made them get us new couch cushions, which they were really annoyed about. Like, the building was so... They were like, we're not doing anything about that. I was like, well, then I'm going to go ballistic. Like,
yeah.
Get me a new couch cushion. Mm-hmm. So they...
You know how we joke about, like... Oh my gosh, like, I want to eat drywall so bad I'm freaking out. Yeah. Milo was like, I will. I am eating drywall right now.
He quite literally was driven up the wall.
Yeah.
I felt bad for this dog. Once again, annoying dog.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't deserve that.
He's a creature who does not deserve this.
He can't control that.
He was almost never taken out,
on like a walk or anything.
I mean, he would go out on walks maybe like once or like... twice a week, I think. I don't know.
That's awful.
That's horrible. A dog needs to go out at least, like, as a small dog especially have to go out a lot. Mm-hmm. They have small bladders.
Small bladders.
That dog needed to go out, like, maybe, like, 2-3 times a day at least. Mm-hmm. What really that dog needed was a yard.
Yeah.
Ugh. it was horrible what she did to him, and what she made me and my other roommate
live through that.
Live in dog shit. And I had enough. I would, I was like, you know what? I don't care. I can't live like this anymore.
You can only take so much.
I could only take so much. And I would say small things like, hey, like, how's the puppy training go? I was trying to, like, give it time, because I understand, it's not overnight that a dog is trained. Mm-hmm. But then I realized she's not training him.
No, training is non-existent. She's not doing it.
So I was like, I finally just kind of blew up, and I was like, you cannot make us live. I texted our roommate group chat. I was like, you cannot make us live like this. This is wrong. This is disgusting. It's wrong for the dog, but just seriously, it's wrong to make us live in dog shit. I can't do it anymore. And she did not answer. She knocked on my door, and she's like, why don't you come outside and talk to me? And I was like, oh no.
Mm-hmm. That's terrifying. She said, catch me outside. She
literally said, why don't we take this outside? Why don't you talk outside with me? And my ass, teeth chattering, I said,
You
no.
were shaking in your boots?
I was shaking in my boots.
You said no?
I said no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I said what I needed to say in the text message. Mm-hmm. I think I opened my door a little bit, and I was like, what's up? And she's like, let's step outside. Let's step outside and talk.
Did she mean outside, like, in y'all's apartment? Or, like, outside
I did not clarify with her.
Okay.
I did not clarify. I just cracked open my door. I was like, what's up? And she was like, let's take this outside. Let's talk. Mm-hmm. Let's talk. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure she even said, like, there is no need to be disrespectful towards me about this. And I was like,
whoa.
Girl.
You want to talk about disrespect? We can talk about disrespect.
How about
we can talk about that.
Disrespecting this creature's life and also making me live in dog shit.
Yeah.
I'm already a mechanical engineering major. Mm-hmm. My life is already stupid. Mm-hmm. I'm already doing stuff I don't want to do. And now I'm just, like, wading through dog shit to get to the fridge to get to my stupid Brita. Mm-hmm. So messed up. Anyways, but she was, like, I'm pretty sure she went to, like, a private school in Houston. So, yes, she came from money, but also she could fight. Mm-hmm. So that was, also she was rushing a sorority. Which takes up a shit ton of time. Yeah. So that's why she was absent from the dog a lot. And fairly certain she got into, like, an altercation with one of the girls while rushing, but she still got in. Okay. So that was messy and interesting. But I heard her talking and bitching about, like, almost going in on this girl, like, physically. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, uh-oh.
Don't want to mess with her too much.
I'm not going to mess with her. I'm not going to get, like, my ass beat and live in dog shit. I'm picking...
Pick one struggle.
I'm picking one struggle.
And I'm just gonna live in dog shit instead.
I guess I'll just live in dog shit. And I remember my mom came and visited for something. And she didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. She just... It was so nice of her. She just cleaned my entire apartment. Just scrubbed it clean.
That's sweet.
It was really... I think it was, like, for winter break or something whenever Jenna had gone home with the dog. And I'd been, like, really miserable, and I told my mom about the dog thing, and I couldn't take it anymore. And she didn't say anything. She just came and she just cleaned the whole apartment. It was so nice. Mm-hmm. Oh, and winter break was awesome, because, like, I was like, there's no dog. I can go out into my kitchen and nothing bites me. Anyways, that was my freshman year roommate. I hope.
It's awful.
I actually have heard, pretty recently, one of my boyfriend's friends, she was like, same thing happened to me, where, like, my randomized roommate got a puppy, and it was hell. And I'm like, why do people do this?
If you're about to go to college, do not get a puppy. If you were in college, don't get a puppy. And don't get a puppy till you're, like, you have a house, or you have a yard, or you have somewhere you can take it.
Like,
it just makes sense.
Like, you gotta think about this poor creature. And, like, I know there are some people in college who are really good dog parents, and they, like, foster dogs. And we were even friends with some people that got, like, a dog in college.
Fostered it.
And even though, like, their apartment didn't really have a yard or anything,
they still took really good care of it.
Really good care of it. But it is incredibly time consuming.
It's very hard. And, like, if you're only gonna, like, if you're like, oh, man, like, that sounds fun. No, don't do it. Unless you're, like, 100% committed, don't do it. Yeah. Don't do that to yourself or others.
Don't do that to yourself, your roommates, or that poor creature. It's just cruel. It's cruel. Anyways, so not a very funny story, but kind of a visceral...
But it is, like... It's a story, okay?
It's a story. And then my next year was the one where I lived with Gabby, our friend from high school. And I felt bad because I don't think we ever talked. I think we like talked once in the living room, and then after that we just did our own thing.
Yeah.
I felt bad, but also
school's tiring enough. Just do what you gotta do.
Yeah, like if I saw her on the street, I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, Gabby," and we'd have a wonderful, like, funny conversation.
And then in the house, you'd be like,
but in the
silence.
I felt bad, but also it's just that's
just how it shakes out sometimes.
That's how I operate at home. I wasn't gonna change.
Yeah.
But then the other roommate though that year, my sophomore year. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so then my other roommate, besides the high school friend Gabby, she was just like this random girl. Once again, random. Thought it'd be fine. It wasn't.
It was not.
Turns out, would you believe when people need, or whenever people are going to apartments and they're like just one person and they're the random roommate, maybe it's because they don't have.
They were the problem.
They were the problem.
And now, like, you're dealing with the problem.
And now I'm dealing with them. I thought if I got randomized roommates, it'd just be a lot of introverts.
Yeah.
Which was my ideal scenario. Oof. I would love a house full of introverts. That's awesome.
It's just chilling. Everyone's just maxing, chilling, quiet, doing their own thing.
Everyone's just like a ghost haunting their own apartment. That wasn't the case. Instead, I got lots of people who maybe had friends, but their friends knew not to live with them because there was something a little wrong. Anyway, so this girl, she was perfectly all right the entire year. There was one time Laura came over on a Friday night, though.
Yeah.
And she, like, told us to shut up. And I was like, girl, it's Friday, and it's, like, 12:30 p.m., like, and we're in our living room in the common space. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sorry, but also, like, it's Friday night.
Yeah. And she had someone over, too, right?
I think so. It had someone over in her room.
Yeah.
And she told us to shut up, and I was like,
I remember I was like, girl, come on now. I think we were watching, like, TV, and we were just laughing.
Yeah, literally, I don't even think we were watching TV. I think we were just talking, and you laughed.
And I got a loud laugh.
You got a loud laugh. But she, like, told us to shut up, and I was like, okay. That was the only transgression that entire time. Mm-hmm. There's, like, one time where she got mad at me. She's like, do the dishes, or else. And I was like, you're right.
My bad. Okay.
To be fair, I was getting used to doing lots of dishes for the first time because I didn't get to use my fucking kitchen.
The first year.
Time. Not a good excuse, but yeah, no. She was like, "Do your dishes." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. You're so right about that." See, but normal bad roommate.
That's classic.
Me. I'm normal bad roommate.
That's classic.
That's classic, and I don't do that anymore. But, then. So our lease ended in July. Mm-hmm.
July 31st,
July
right?
31st. And then her move-in date was like August 16th or something. Or like 12th or something random.
Because, yeah, they have to have like it delayed after July 31st. So all like
they can clean
They can clean it, get it ready.
Fill holes.
Give like the landlord special a paint, call it a day.
Yeah, paint everything white and then move on. Mm-hmm. There was like 2 weeks where she was not going to have a place to stay because, whatever. But it was getting towards the end of July, and I was going back and forth between Austin and Katie because my mom was starting to get really sick. So I had gone home to take care of my mom. Mm-hmm.
And this was during COVID, right? This was 2020. Sophomore year.
Did y'all move into the O2?
In the
middle of COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. This was in the middle of COVID. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I had gone home to take care of my mom in the summer, but I was kind of going back and forth between Austin and Katie. Mm-hmm. And it was end of July, and she texts me, and she's like, "Hey, I'm not gonna have anywhere to stay. I've moved out all my stuff into a storage unit, but I just don't have anywhere to stay for 2 weeks. And I'll have to turn in my bedroom key and stuff. I don't have anywhere to stay for 2 weeks until I can move into my next place. Can I, stay in the apartment? Because you're not moving. Can I stay as, your guest and sleep on the couch? Mm-hmm. For 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, that sounds fine. Once again, we weren't friends. I didn't owe her anything.
Yeah, this is more favor than anything.
This was not a huge favor. This was like a favor. We were not cool. We were not friends. We barely spoke. Mm-hmm. But I was like, that would be fine. I don't mind doing that for you. But I don't know for sure if I will be in Austin because I'm taking care of my mom who's really sick. And she took it as a yes, even though I said I did not know if I would be in Austin and be able to, like, let her in and out of the apartment because she would have to turn in her keys on the 31st, so I'd need to be there.
Yeah. It was a very clear maybe.
It was a clear maybe.
But also, like, it was like, look at other options, too.
Oh, but
I don't keep your options open.
But she was so insistent on doing this. This is what she was so insistent on. And I was like, you're in a, like, I know you're in a sorority. I know you have friends. Like, you have people over. Like, I literally texted her. I was like, you have, like, other people. Like, is there no one else you can stay with? I'm sure there's, like, somewhere you could stay because I don't know if I'll be there. I was trying to help her brainstorm places. And I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this for you.
You got your other things going on. You have to you don't have to do this. I'm taking care of
my sick mom, which, spoiler alert, didn't work out. So, you know, but I literally was just, like, trying to help her brainstorm where to stay. And then she was like, oh, how about this? Why don't you just mail me, because I'm going to have to turn in my keys. Why don't you mail me your keys if you can't make it? And that way I'll just use your keys and sleep on the couch and stuff. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm fairly certain that might be illegal. Yeah. Based on, because, like...
It's kind of hairy legally. And also, right, you don't want to be responsible for that. Because at that point, like... If whatever happens, that's on you.
She's not on the lease, so, like, whenever they come into the apartment and check that everything's empty, and they're gonna be like, are you Katrina? She would lie and say yes, because she's not supposed to be there, not supposed to be living there. Whole situation, weird and bad.
It could go wrong.
And also, I don't feel like mailing my keys. That's just a big risk.
And also, like, if you were gonna go back there... then you want to be able to get into your own apartment and not have to text for your own key.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, we're not friends. I don't trust the mail system enough to mail my key. It was a key fob, so they were $75 to replace.
They were so expensive to replace.
So I wasn't going to lose that. Anyways, but she was like, you're going to do this. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
No.
And she lost her goddamn mind on me. She lost her mind. She started, like, threatening me almost immediately. And this was after I was
you can't get anything, she's like, if I can't get what I want, I will threaten you.
And this was
And you're already dealing with, like, your mom being sick.
I told her multiple times, I was like, it is a big maybe to do you a favor. We're not friends. I do not owe you anything. And then just the audacity. I was like, I explained to you I can't come because I'm taking care of my sick mom.
Yeah.
And, oh my god. And then so I said, no, I'm not mailing you this key. She immediately starts getting aggressive and threatening me. She says, guess what? Karma's coming for you, bitch. Like, she's like, karma's coming for you. You better be careful. You better watch out, because all your stuff is here. And guess who else is here? Me. And I was like, what the fuck? Why are you threatening me? Because I'm not doing you a favor. Why don't you go, like, maybe this is why you can't stay with your friends, you weirdo. Like, clearly, something's wrong with you. I had to, like, talk to Skyloft Management. I had to, like, confirm that she left and wasn't, like, you know,
still
squatting
somehow
in
there.
the apartment, somehow there. She was threatening my stuff because I wasn't moving, so all my stuff was, you know, still there in the cabinets in my bedroom and stuff. And the audacity to be so aggressive and so, after a year of not speaking to me, asking me for a big favor, and then getting so mad at me because I wouldn't do her a favor because I was at home taking care of my sick and, spoiler alert, dying mom. And then threatening my stuff, and then I had to get management involved to get her out of the apartment. Oh my gosh, like, so unnecessary.
Too many things. Too many things going on.
Too many things. And then, when I got back, I, like, when I went back to Austin, I was nervously, like, checking my stuff, and I was like, oh my god, are all my appliances here? Like, is my room, like, is all my jewelry, like, all my bathroom stuff here? And everything was there, except I was fairly certain I had a set of 4 for all of my plates and bowls and stuff. And when I came back, I only had a set of 3 of everything. So I think, potentially, she maybe allegedly, I'm using all the legal terms here.
Possibly.
Could
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Might have.
Taken a full set of my dishes. Like,
she was like, these were nice.
She took one bowl, one plate, one, like, side plate.
Yeah.
One small bowl. Like, she just took one of all of them.
She's like, I need these.
Which, I think, in the grand scheme of things, that is the funniest shit ever.
Yeah. I wish she took, like, one, like, knife, one fork, like, one every... Like, if she was gonna do it, like, she did all of it.
I think that's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's funny. Like, I have a little bit of respect if you're going to like, threaten someone's stuff, but then, like, you don't want to get in trouble, so you just take one of a full set.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of...
It's like, okay.
Okay, that's kind of camp. That's kind of, like, funny.
Well, like, if you're gonna do it, like, at least do, like, a funny thing. At least you didn't, like, you know, like, cut... like the cable of like your like, toaster oven or something, or smash the plates,
or like steal something.
Mm-hmm. She did steal something,
or like steal something,
perhaps. Allegedly,
maybe allegedly, perhaps,
maybe. We don't know. It's unknown.
It's unknown.
Speculating. Speculative.
It is just a theory.
Allegedly stole plates.
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
Kind of funny to steal
one of everything.
And I respect that. But also, if I ever saw her in person on the street again, it would be on site. Mm-hmm. Because the audacity to fucking yell at me and say karma's coming for you while I'm taking care of my sick, dying mom to do you a favor? Fuck you, bitch! Like, it
That's
is on
so
site.
mean. That's so mean.
I have never had someone, like, throw so much audacity at me. Mm-hmm. I never encountered such arrogance and, I was so mad. I was so mad.
Such foolishness.
Okay. Oof, this is a long episode. So I got one more. So that my junior year, COVID, it's the height of COVID.
Yeah.
Things are not good. No vaccine yet. Mm-hmm. 2 new roommates. They're like cousins. They're like fine. They chill. Mm-hmm. During the winter storm, one of them was actually very nice. She wasn't there, but she let like...
If you want to hear about this story, go to Winter Storm Part 1.
And Part 2.
But we all stayed at Katrina's house.
Yeah, everyone ended up staying in my Skyloft dungeon.
And one of the roommates was there, and she let us stay there. She wasn't aware of what was going on, really, but she, like, let us stay there, which was nice.
Yeah, and then the other roommate, she was not there, and she was like, please stay in my bedroom. Like, you can, like, use my bathroom. Like, yeah, it was very, very nice.
That was very sweet.
But that was, like, in the spring semester. In the fall... it was like October, November. Had a COVID. Things were bad. I came home from hanging out. Like, everyone kind of in college during COVID, everyone had their bubble. Mm-hmm. And they only hung out with their bubble. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all they interacted with, maskless. Mm-hmm. So my bubble was...
it was at my house.
It was your house.
So it was me, Lopak, Minsaw, Isabel, Parker.
And Minsaw's sister,
Minji.
That was my bubble. Those were the people I interacted with without a mask on. And that was it. That's all I socialized with for a whole year of college. Mm-hmm. And I came home from hanging out with my bubble at around, like, it was pretty late. It was like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Came home, opened the door, and it is an absolute rager in my apartment. Mm-hmm. So many people, like, I think there was, like, a beer pong table set up. So many people... I walk in, the first thing I see is, like, a bong being passed around.
Yeah.
And
how many people are in here? Like, guess.
I think, like...
20? 15?
15 to 20. Which doesn't sound like a rager, but for COVID, that's a fucking rager.
For COVID, and also, this is a tiny apartment.
Yeah, this
literally
is a small
having,
apartment.
like, 4 people... Having, like, 5 people in there, it's like, okay, like, you feel everyone.
Yeah, and it's, like, yeah.
It's kind of tight.
It feels a little tight.
15 people... It was a really small apartment, y'all. Like, it was so... It was...
Yeah.
It was tight.
It was tight, and there was, like, 15, 20 people in there. There's, like, party lights, there's, like, beer pong going, and the first thing I see when I open the door is someone hit a bong, pass it, and then throw up on my carpet.
Ugh. That's awesome.
Seeing, like, bodily fluids during this, like, anxiety-inducing year of a pandemic.
Mm-hmm. When you're also still, like, going home.
And I'm still going back and forth.
Taking care of your mom.
To take care of my mom, who is obviously immune-compromised. Because she's so sick. I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah.
I'm like, and
rightfully so.
And even just in a normal year, pandemic or not, if you're gonna throw a party, you tell your roommates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you didn't even know. You didn't even know this was happening.
I was not asked. I was not told. I walked in on it. I held my breath, ran to my room, grabbed like underwear or something, like underwear and pajamas, and then grabbed my toothbrush, ran back out. I turned my ass around and went back to y'all's place.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I literally held my breath, ran through there, got my stuff, got out. And I texted them the next day, and I was like, guys, seriously, like, what were y'all thinking? Throwing a party where you're all drinking and all sharing, like, a bong, and, like, I was just so mad. I was like, that was not cool. Even in a normal year, you ask your roommate if you're gonna throw a party, like, or just at least
That's
tell
just
them.
common decency. That's just common decency.
If you even just told me so I didn't walk in on it with these people that I'm not quarantining with, I was so furious. Especially since I was going back and forth to take care of my mom, who was incredibly vulnerable. And they both ganged up on me.
Yeah. They
literally got so defensive. They were like, those people are our cousins. They're all family.
That's cool. What that had to do with me?
What's that got to do with anything? Did the CDC say,
Can't spread between family members?
Yeah, guess what, guys? Coronavirus does not spread between cousins.
Like, congrats that they're your cousins. But, like,
That's still
they're not my
shit ton of
cousins.
people.
And yeah, they're all in, you're like, they're all there.
And I don't know if these people are, like, quarantining. I don't know if these people wear masks. None of them were there wearing masks. Like, I was just like, oh my god, I don't know. You've introduced me to so many
New
different
people
all at once. And those people know people. Like, you have exposed me to so many things. I was so pissed. And they got super mad at me. And I was like, I am not coming home until you send a negative, both of you all send a negative test. And they were very defensive and very like, I'm not doing that. Like, you know, they were like really mad at me.
Which, not cool.
They were mad at me for being mad at them for throwing a party during COVID.
Yeah, they were mad at you because, like, you were in the right.
Yeah,
you were in the right.
They literally were mad at me because they knew they outnumbered me. So I couldn't go back home until they until I got negative tests. And this was before tests were, like, sold at, like, Walgreens and stuff, so you couldn't just go back buy one. You had to, like, get one from, like, the university, and, like, or you had to go to a university
testing site, and then they would test you,
and then they would send you if it's positive or negative. And they took, like, 2 or 3 weeks.
They took their sweet time.
They took their goddamn time to do this. And the only reason one of them even did it was because she wanted to go to some formal event for one of her, like, organizations. And she's like, oh, I had to do this test for this anyway, so there you go. I had to do that anyways. There you go. Like, she didn't do it because I asked her.
Yeah, not out of the kindness of her heart.
She had to do it to go to another party. And it took, I think, this was in the fall, and then by basically 1 year later, whenever they were moving out, they both apologized to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, it took a very long time for them to be like, man, maybe
we messed up.
Maybe we, like, and they, like, tried to explain it. They were using sort of, like, they were saying, like, culturally how we were raised is to, like, take the defense first and be aggressive first and then apologize later, and so we're sorry. And I was just like, man, you didn't have to pull, like, family and culture into this. The apologies is fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was a nightmare. I'm sure other people probably have, like, my COVID roommate nightmare stories.
Oh, yeah.
Because it really came out who was stupid and who was careless.
And who cared for other people and who didn't.
And who didn't. If y'all remember the Cabo 44.
Cabo 44. We're gonna get people are gonna be, like, mad once we bring this up. Cabo 44.
I don't care. There was, like, a sorority that, like, would not.
It was during spring break whenever, like, we all had to go home, right?
Yeah, it was the very beginning of COVID.
And so then this, like, sorority on UT, like, already had their trip to Cabo planned, and it was non-refundable.
It was non-refundable.
So they understand.
They
had to go. It was non-refundable.
They had to internationally travel.
So they traveled internationally. They came back. And either 44 of them went or 44 of them got COVID when they came back. But either way, they're called the Cabo 44.
Yeah, I think it was 44 of them had COVID.
I think like 70-something went and 44 got COVID.
Yeah.
And so...
In Cabo.
And so they came back, and then... everyone was mad at them because they were super reckless.
At the time, Austin had like 15 positive cases of COVID.
Yes. Oh, yes, because you could see like the New York Times map.
Yes.
You could see like how many people where. And then in Austin, we had very low cases. And then Cabo 44 really spiked the numbers up.
Yeah, exploded.
And
I'm sure some old person died because a girl went to Cabo and had to go on her non-refundable trip.
It was non-refundable.
Guys, you don't understand. It was non-refundable. They had to go.
They had to go. And so whenever they came back, everyone was clowning on them and was like being like, hey, like you were really not smart.
You're selfish.
You're being like really rude and disrespectful.
Someone's going to die because
like,
of this.
You are being careless and like, this is going to have consequences, you know? And so whenever people be like, oh, like, whenever people just say that, like, on Twitter, or, like, tag the girls, or even say, like, I think, like, hashtag Cabo44.
Yeah.
The girls' parents would go after them on, like, social media and be like, we will get lawyers involved. Take this down right now. Like, stop talking about us.
It was literally, like, all the girls in that sorority, social media, they, like, went dark.
Yeah,
like,
because everyone was after
them.
Because they were stupid.
They were so selfish. And
they had to go.
They had to go because it was non-refundable.
It's non-refundable. I just spring break in those. They had to go.
I think maybe that's what people don't understand is that it was non-refundable and they had to go on their Cabo trip.
Mm-hmm. If it was refundable, they totally would have not gone.
Yeah, because I know the sorority girls. Money's tight.
Money's tight. It's hard. It's hard. So all their money is going to T-shirts, so they have to penny pinch when they can.
Yeah, and all their money's going to like. Whenever they're a big and they need to like dress up as a little costume to match with their little,
they have to get the big T-shirts that match.
They have to get the little outfits that match. So like they have to go to like Hobby Lobby and they have to like buy like a black shirt and then they have to like get a white shirt and then they're like, I'm Pepper and you're Salt,
and they're like, oh my gosh, like you're the best little ever, and like Little's like, oh my gosh, you're the best big ever.
My family, you're my sister. Sure.
They have to penny pinch.
They have to penny pinch because they got to spend money on that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You think those T-shirts are free? No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Those little costumes?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, so it was not refundable. They had to go.
They had to go.
I do remember, also the sorority itself, literally it was like, if you say anything, our lawyers will be in contact with you. Like, the sorority itself got, like, it was defending all the girls.
Mm-hmm.
But, also, someone spray painted on the side of like their sorority, like Eat the Rich or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I think it said Cabo 44.
I think it also probably said Cabo 44 or something like that.
Anyways,
so yeah,
that's a roommate.
Those are our roommates.
Those are some roommates.
Now I live with my dear friends, and it's like lovely.
Yeah, I lived with my friends my junior and senior year, so it was chill. It was very good. I live alone. And I'm the only roommate horror story, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're the only thing hot in that place.
I walk into my house, I'm like, oh, someone needs to sweep. It's me, I gotta sweep. Mm-hmm. I brought dirt in on my walk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. I hope you really enjoyed. And then if you want to, tell us your roommate horror stories. We want to hear what y'all went through because you know what? It's kind of cathartic, like hearing like...
Yes.
Other experiences.
Yeah.
That's like, you know what? Damn, that was crazy.
People are weird. People are awful.
People are awful. So if you want to tell us those, DM us on Do It For The Bit podcast on Instagram and follow us on Pinterest at Do It For The Bit. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with whoever you think would also enjoy it. And if you really, really enjoyed it, which I hope you did, please rate us 5 stars and review us on whatever listening platform you're listening to us on. It would really help us, and we would also just like really appreciate it. All right, cool. That's it. All right. Bye.